If you want to protect your memory, you have to stop thinking about food and start thinking about fuel. If neurodegeneration, the shrinking of the brain, is a biological fire, then what you eat is either the gasoline or the extinguisher. In the medical world of 2026, we don't just tell people to eat healthy. We prescribe neurotherapeutic nutrition. These are 3 specific foods that act like high-octane fuel for your brain's command centers. They don't just help, they physically repair the hardware. Let's look at the first one, which I call the Synaptic Shield. Food 1. Wild blueberries, the Synaptic Shield. We've all heard that berries are good for us, but in 2026, we've discovered that the wild blueberry is in a league of its own. Unlike the big, plump berries you see in most grocery stores, the smaller wild variety is packed with a much higher concentration of anthocyanins. Think of anthocyanins as the special forces of nutrients. Most things you eat can't actually get into your brain. There is a security fence called the blood-brain barrier that keeps most chemicals out. But these pigments are different. They have a VIP pass. They cross that fence and go straight to the hippocampus, the part of the brain we discussed in the last video that acts like your librarian. A 2025 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed adults over 65 who ate wild blueberry powder every day. The results? They showed a 14% increase in processing speed. Their brains weren't just healthier, they were faster. By lowering the fire of inflammation in your memory centers, these berries help your brain record new information. If you've been struggling with that encoding failure we talked about, where you forget what you did earlier today, this is your first line of defense. Kerkorian, R. et al., 2025. Blueberry supplementation in age-related cognitive decline. The Lancet Healthy Longevity. But protecting the librarian is only half the battle. You also have to make sure the wiring in your brain is properly insulated, which brings us to our second fuel, fatty fish. Food 2. Fatty fish, the Myelin Repair Kit. If your brain's wiring is like the electrical cables in your house, then omega-3 fatty acids, specifically one called DHA, are the rubber insulation around those wires. In the brain, we call this insulation myelin. As we age, or if we are in the early stages of dementia, that insulation starts to crack and peel. When the insulation is gone, the electrical signals leak. This is why you experience retrieval delay, the tip of the tongue moment where you know a name but can't quite grab it. The signal is just too weak to reach the destination. In 2026, we use something called the omega-3 index to predict brain health. A massive study in JAMA Neurology found that people with the highest levels of DHA in their blood had a prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO, that looked 5 years younger than people who were deficient. When you eat smash fish, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring, you are literally handing your brain a repair kit to wrap those wires back up in fresh insulation. It makes your thinking sharper and your memory retrieval almost instant. Tan, Z.S. et al., 2024. Red blood cell omega-3 fatty acid levels and markers of accelerated brain aging. JAMA Neurology. Now, even if your librarian is working and your wiring is insulated, your brain still produces trash every day. If you don't clear that trash, the system clogs up. That's where our third food comes in, the liquid gold. Food 3. Extra virgin olive oil, the Amyloid Cleaner. In 2026, we don't just use olive oil for cooking, we use it as a cleaning service for the brain. The secret ingredient is a compound called oleocanthal. One of the main causes of dementia is the buildup of beta-amyloid plaques. Think of this like neural gum that gets stuck between your brain cells, blocking communication. Usually, your brain cleans this out while you sleep, but as we age, that cleaning system, the glymphatic system, gets sluggish. Oleocanthal actually wakes up the transport proteins that act like garbage trucks, physically pumping that gum out of your brain so it can be filtered out of your body. The science. A 2026 breakthrough study published in Nature Communications used PET scans to track people who took 3 tablespoons of high-quality olive oil every day. After 6 months, they saw a measurable reduction in the trash buildup in the parietal lobe, the area that handles your internal GPS. This is why olive oil is so critical for preventing that visual disorientation where people get lost in familiar places. It keeps the maps clear. Kadumi, A. et al., 2026. Extra virgin olive oil enhances amyloid clearance. Neurology Weekly/Nature Communications. To turn this high-level science into a roadmap for defense, we utilize the 3-2-1 rule. This is the prescription for cognitive resilience. 3 tablespoons of high-phenolic olive oil daily, ideally consumed raw, over salads or taken directly, to preserve the heat-sensitive oleocanthal. 2 servings of fatty cold water fish per week. Focus on smashed fish, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, herring, to maximize DHA while minimizing mercury. 1 cup of wild berries every morning. The high concentration of anthocyanins provides a 24-hour synaptic shield for your memory centers. Feeding your brain the right molecules is a powerful defense, but remember, the best fuel in the world can't help an engine that isn't running properly. Nutrition is just one pillar of the 2026 Resilient Mind Protocol. To truly understand if your current brain function is optimal, you need to know how to spot the difference between a simple senior moment and the early biological markers of decline. If you missed it, you need to go back and watch my previous video, Normal Aging versus Early Dementia, the 5 signs you must know. In that deep dive, we explore the specific red flags in your prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, the very regions we just fueled today. By combining the biological markers from that video with the neurotherapeutic nutrition from this one, you aren't just slowing down time. You are actively rebuilding your cognitive threshold. Knowledge is your first step, but consistent action is your medicine. Pick one of these 2026 food protocols, the berries, the fish, or the liquid gold, and start tomorrow morning. Click the like button if you found these medical references helpful, and subscribe to The Ageless Mind to join our community of proactive aging. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video where we reveal the 3-minute morning movement that triggers the release of BDNF, the literal miracle grow for your brain cells.